Okay, everybody, let's go here. I have to tell you, this has been a day that is fraught with technological problems. First, I thought we were going to be on Facebook, and then it turned out that Zoom and Facebook have not actually been talking to each other for quite some time, and I didn't know that when I set this up. So we are going to find some way to make these recordings available. That is a kind of question that always comes up, and the recordings will all be available somewhere, maybe on YouTube, but I'll figure that out and let folks know. So I want to tell you a little bit about what's going to happen in the next little while, because I think that you should have a sense of time and what you can expect. And I had originally intended that this would be about an hour, the first half hour of which would be me presenting an idea, and the second half hour would be about comments, questions, and things like that. But we had another technological glitch, and so I'm actually re-recording this, and it's only going to be me and not audience participation. So the thing that it's like maybe 35, 36 minutes. So the thing that I want you to know about what this is today is that it's an idea about something that I think will probably challenge you a little bit, and that it might give you some insight about why it might benefit your practice and all of the people that you're here to help if you thought about this in a different way. The remaining time that we have in our life is really important. Whatever age you are, I think it's really important to be on purpose and on target and in alignment. And so alignment with what? Alignment with our purpose. And I think that if we're here and we've got skills and we're not bringing them out into the world, we're missing a great opportunity. So whether you think that you have 50 years ahead of you, or me, like I'm 68, and I'm sure that I've got at least 32 more years, the remaining time that we've got is really important to be used in the best possible way. So I want to get into that all in just a minute. But first, I want to give you a really brief idea of who I am, so that you know that you're not wasting any of your remaining time being here for this next half hour. There are two really important things that I think I can tell you about myself, and they are that, number one, I'm a Feldenkrais practitioner and a Feldenkrais trainer, and that having studied with Moshe Feldenkrais in San Francisco, I have more than 40 years of experience as a hands-on practitioner under my belt. So when I teach, everything is infused with that hands-on work and the understanding that I bring to it from every part of my life and my business, and I can't stop myself from being that person, nor would I ever want to. The other thing is that since 2010, I've been helping hands-on practitioners build a practice that supports them financially and sustains them at the deepest levels of their being. And as I just alluded to, I think that is crucially important to happiness and to our ability to get up every morning, put a smile on our face, and go to work, because we actually don't even have to put the smile there. It's actually just showing up on its own, because we can't wait to bring more of who we are into the world so that it can help other people. So in that period of time, since 2010, what's happened for me is that I've been able to help hundreds of practitioners get out of what I think is real desperation about their practice, their modality, about not being able to feel the level of self-esteem that we should all have when we have a great gift to bring and share it with the world. That's because they've begun to align their life, their work, and their life purpose in the same stream, so that work and life purpose are one and the same thing. And being on the planet at this time makes more sense. I know it's possible for you if you want it, and if you're willing to make your commitment bigger than whatever the circumstances are that you find yourself in today. And that's why I'm going to ask you for the next 20 or so minutes to put on your beginner's hat, to open your mind to the possibility that you've got ideas about getting clients, ideas about building your practice, ideas about creating a business that supports you, and that those ideas in their present form got you here, but they're stopping you from getting there. Where's there? It's to what you want. So that the very ideas that you have about all of those are stopping you from getting the thing that you want. And today, the way we're going to look at that is by looking at the question, do you need marketing or something else? Now, it's kind of one of those questions that I wouldn't be asking it if I thought you needed marketing, but we're going to get there in a stepwise fashion. Because most of the practitioners that I speak with about taking the heart-to-heart program tell me that they need help with marketing. So obviously it's important. And I believe that the reason that we all think it's so important is that we think that marketing is how we get clients. The truth is, you might think that even asking that question is weird if you think that marketing is about getting clients, because obviously you want to build your practice. And if you want to build your practice and marketing is about getting clients, then you have to do marketing. And I would have told you the same thing before I got going with all of this several years ago, because marketing is the only thing that we hear about in training programs in that tiny little bit of time that we give over from modality training to something else, right? It's like Friday afternoon for half an hour, we're going to talk about how to make a flyer and put it up at the co-op. Or on Monday morning, when people haven't actually arrived back from the weekend yet, we're going to spend the first hour talking about different ways to make some kind of appeal to people who are musicians or athletes or people who have degenerative diseases or whatever it is, like how to market to that group of people. And whatever it is that we're doing in that vein that has to do with building your business, pretty much is just called marketing. So why wouldn't you think that you need that? And then that's further exacerbated by the fact that we live in a digital age, and every time you go to the internet, you're slammed with marketing. And it's online marketing, and it's sleazy, and you hate it, and you don't want to do it because you don't want to show up like those people, and I don't blame you. All right? But this is the problem, because we have like a love-hate relationship with it. We know we need it. We don't want to do it. We don't like what we see. We think we need to do that. Let's start with looking what marketing is really about anyway, because when you see what it's about, you'll be able to see that you don't have to do it anymore. That's really terrific. The purpose of marketing is not to get a client. I'm going to let that sink in for a minute, because if you think that you're marketing to get clients, this is like suddenly, oh, you don't need to do it to get clients, because it's not about getting clients. Marketing is about letting the world know that something exists and that it's available and that you can go buy it. So if you're selling a product, marketing can help you. If you're selling a book, marketing can help you. If you want to boost awareness of your modality, marketing can help you. If you want to get clients, marketing is not the first thing you need. How come? Well, let's take what I like to call a fictitious example. Let's imagine that a well-known journalist for a national newspaper writes an article about your modality, and it gets picked up and reprinted all across the country. Or let's suppose that a famous psychiatrist writes a book, and in that book, he talks a lot about your modality and how it helps all kinds of problems because of some funny little word like neuroplasticity. These would be examples of marketing. It's a general blast of information with a general message, even though it's got words like neuroplasticity in it or back pain. Okay, it's a message that says, hey, look over here. Did you know about this? This might help you. Have you heard of this? This is really interesting. Come on, come over here. Look at this. You should check this out. Okay, this is the way that we get people to know that something exists. It's like a new flavor of pudding. Okay, banana raspberry. Come check it out. Perfect for summer. You're going to love it. all right? Or maybe it's a possible solution to their back pain. Sometimes it can be specifically about problems that your modality can help, like back pain or neck pain or people who've got Alzheimer's or neurological diseases or whatever. It might even be that specific. But for the most part, even though you think that marketing is what you need to get clients, this is not going to work specifically that way because marketing isn't the thing that gets the client. Here's why. Most people are not going to call you because they read an article or a book and tell you on the phone, hey, I saw your work mentioned, and then I looked in the phone book and I found you, or I looked online or I found you somewhere and you were the closest person to me and I want an appointment and I want to come and I want to be your client for the next 10 years. Or however long you think people should stay to get the transformation that you know is possible. Did it work that way with your dentist, with your hairdresser? Don't you know the person? You don't just pick somebody and go because it says hairdresser or because it says dentist. You go and you find out about the person. And this is where we lose the client, okay? Because the marketing was only about raising awareness. So what's far more likely to happen is that some of the people who call will be a good fit. Some of the people will not be a good fit. Sometimes none of the people who call will be a good fit. That actually happened to clients of mine that after a similar fictitious or non-fictitious article was printed, a lot of people called, but none of the people who called were right for them. Why could it be that a person is not right for you? Maybe they live too far away. Maybe they can't pay your fee. Maybe they have difficulties that you don't feel comfortable or confident helping them with. Maybe they got the wrong impression from what they read, and maybe they thought, oh, this is going to fix my, insert the name of their pain here. But what you do in your practice is help people transform, and people who want to be fixed are not good clients for you. See, what the marketing did was it generated buzz in a very general way. It mentioned your modality, and maybe it mentioned one or two difficulties, right, that you can help. But it was aimed at the entire universe and not at what you actually do. And only some of the people in the universe are ever going to see that they could be helped by you. And only some of the people who see that they could be helped by you are actually going to be good clients for you. But in any case, getting a client from that situation depends entirely on what you do next, not on what happened before. Before, it was only about making your presence or your modality's presence known to some people who didn't know about it. What happens next is that they call you or they send you an email, and on the phone or in that email and in your first session, your job is now to get them to come and then to commit. And that means that your enrollment skills need to be honed. Now, we're not going to talk about enrollment skills today because it deserves its own webinar, so we're going to do that tomorrow. But just for now, know that the process of getting a client only just is starting when your phone rings. Now, there's another way to market that's not like buckshot, which is the first way. And this other way has to do with bringing clients in that you know that you can help. These are the people that you really want to work with and the ones who are the best fit for you. And that's called client attraction. And I don't like to call it even marketing because, in certain circumstances I do, but it's when people know that what I'm really talking about is client attraction because it's so easy to get it mixed up. Client attraction is about getting specific clients, the ones that you're looking for, to get those people to know about you, not your modality, but you, and start talking with you about how you can help them and how ultimately they can move along the path of getting to know you and getting to understand what it is that you do and getting to know how you might be able to help them until they're actually standing right there at the door of your studio, ready to become your client. And this is just like what it's called. It's attraction, and it brings certain people into your sphere. So another way of looking at this is that it turns ideal clients that you haven't met yet into people who are interested in taking the next step with you. These are people who want to find out more about you in order to see if it makes sense to work together. They're not trying to find out about your modality, they're trying to find out about you. And when client attraction works the way it should work, some of those people that see your material, that talk to you, that get a little bit into your orbit, some of them find out and realize that they're not a good fit for you. They're not the person they should be working with. So they go someplace else to look for the help that they need. Now, this is the place where a lot of practitioners are like, oh, but I don't want that to happen because I can work with everybody and I want everybody, okay? The thing that's really important and challenging about this is that it's really a good thing when this happens. This is a good thing, not a bad thing. When your client attraction is done well, it's like a laser beam and it's aimed right at the people that you want most in your practice. If somebody sees your material and says, this isn't the right person for me, that's terrific. They get off your newsletter list. You're not paying to try to market to them anymore. You are not wasting your time with them. They're not wasting their time with you. They're finding the help they need somewhere else, with another practitioner of your modality, with another modality, in a self-help book, I don't know, but they were never your client. And the fact that you allow yourself to feel good about it changes how you show up for the next person that calls you and is interested. So the reason that it's important to master client attraction is that you can help more people who are a good fit find you, and those are the people who are most likely to become great clients. And it's easier to enroll them. You work less hard, less long, waste less time with people who are a good fit. Now, what does this require? Because aside from requiring being okay with polarizing the world into the group that are looking for you and the ones that are not, one of the things that's important here is that you have to be okay with being the person who polarizes people in that way. And this isn't easy for a lot of practitioners because many people are hiding behind their modality, okay? This is why we're out, one of the reasons why we're out there pushing our modality so hard. But attraction, when it's done well, means that you're looking for specific clients to build your practice. It's not about bringing in the entire world, but it's you speaking in your voice, taking a stand for your clients, focusing on your practice, and being seen as the person and the practitioner that you are, so that what comes through is the best living example of your work, not your modality, but your work on the planet. When you are the best living example of your work on the planet, people want to engage with you, and the right people want to become your clients. Now, one of the things that I hear, and I want you to answer this honestly in your heart right now, have you ever wished that somebody else would market your modality so hard that your practice would just fill up because everybody knew about it and somebody put all that marketing out there and did all that work? This is what most practitioners want. And one of the places that you can find out that that's true is if you look on practitioner forums for any kind of modality, people are asking, where is good marketing material? Why doesn't somebody market this? Why doesn't our National Association put more of our dues money into creating things that would be fabulous for us, that would create all of this desire for our work in the world? Let me tell you why it doesn't work. And I'm not saying it doesn't work at all, but let me tell you why it isn't going to build your practice. And to do that, I want to give you a really concrete example out of my own life. And I've had 2 times to test this. I am not only a Feldenkrais practitioner, I had been married to not 1, but 2 Feldenkrais practitioners. Not at the same time, but still. I didn't learn it the first time. And so the second time I did the same thing. I tried to build a practice with both of these people. And we were very different from each other. And what ended up happening, because we could never completely agree on how we wanted to say things. Okay, one of us would take a stab at writing something, and then the other one would tear it apart. And then that person would write something completely different, and the first person would tear it apart. And in the end, we would come up with something, but it wasn't the message that either of us wanted to put out. We ended up with a message that was totally diluted because we compromised way too much on our copy. We didn't take a stand because any stand that I would take wasn't the one that he wanted to take. So because we didn't take a stand, we didn't stand out. And when we went to talk to people about what we did, it didn't feel like either one of us. So there was nothing to stand behind because it wasn't actually authentic. Neither of us was happy with the way we were putting ourselves out. And so we showed up like unhappy practitioners, not as the best living example of our work. So here's the thing. When you wish for somebody else to go out and write all these marketing materials for your modality, what you have to realize is it's not focused on your practice. It's not focused on you. It's attracting people to your modality, maybe, but mostly what it's doing, you're going to love this, it's attracting people to the person who wrote the copy. That anonymous person who wrote all of those great words that you kind of agree with, but, oh, and you're just really so glad because you couldn't think of them on your own. And what I believe is that there's nothing wrong with you because you couldn't think of those words. The challenge is to think of the ones that are your words. That's the challenge. Because here's the thing. I got an email. It was a long, long time ago. I'm going to say decades. I had written some kind of article, and somebody wrote to me who was a practitioner and said, this is a really great article. I'd like to send it to all my clients. And you know, like I think that people, and like they'll pass it on and I'll get more business from it. And is it okay? Can I use it? And I wrote back and I said, absolutely, go right ahead. You can certainly use this. If in your heart of hearts, you honestly and truly believe that you could have written it, you can use it. Because if you couldn't have written it, what's going to happen is that if that brings anybody to your practice, you're not going to be able to deliver what those people expect. And that would be fraudulent. So don't use it if you couldn't have written it. But if you could have written it, then go right ahead. Because here's the thing. When you write a flyer for your workshop, that's your voice. It's not attracting people to your modality. It's attracting people to you. When you go to a play that's being put on by community theater where you live, and you get up at intermission and go out and get refreshments or go to the ladies' room and you talk to people who are in line, that's you attracting people to you. When you show up as the best living example of your work, people want to hear from you. They want to talk to you. They want to know more because it's attraction to you. Now, this does not come without risk. And the risk is that some people are not going to be attracted to you. But you know what? All of life is like that. And luckily, you don't have room in your practice for 7 billion people. That would be everybody, right, on the face of the earth. We don't have the room. You only have room for what? 20 people a week, maybe 100 people in 5 classes. I don't know, but it's not 7 billion. So you don't have to worry about that. You only need to attract enough people to keep your practice full. But here's the problem with this. When you're in that kind of social situation and you don't know what to talk about, what you probably tend to do is what almost every practitioner on the face of the earth does. And that's retreat.
Those are the dogs.
You probably retreat to your fallback position, which is to talk about your modality. And as soon as you begin doing that, you start losing people because they glaze over. I know you've had that experience because everybody's had that experience. When you focus on your modality, you're not attracting people to you. When you use generic materials that other practitioners and every other practitioner is using, you're not attracting to yourself, okay? But when you know what to talk about and you start engaging people by asking the questions that they need to respond to in order for you to give them the information that they're looking for, now you're engaged in moving those people along that path to the point where they come to your door and they want the next piece of information from you. And this is crucial to understand how this works in your own practice and in your own understanding of talking with people so that you can start moving people along that pathway. Because if they don't move on that pathway, you aren't going to get a client. And this is the part that most practitioners need help with. So this is why when we're talking about clients and ideal clients, what we're talking about is your reliance on yourself. What you know about yourself, what you know about your work, who it helps, why they need it, what they feel emotionally about the difficulty that they have, what they want, why they want it, how it will change their life, who those people really are inside at the deepest levels of their being. When you really know these people, you know the problems that they have that they don't talk about because they can barely say the words to themselves. And you know what the deep underlying transformation is that they're searching for without even being aware of it in words. And you begin to learn how to speak to that in a way that they're not threatened by it, but they feel drawn to you. When you know this much about your clients and what you are really offering them, you're in a place where you can position yourself with zero competition in the marketplace. No competition from anybody who does your modality, and no competition from anybody who doesn't do your modality but does something else. Whether that thing that they do is better known than yours or not, it doesn't matter. Because that is the real purpose of client attraction, to bring people to you. So I want to take a couple of minutes just to summarize and then tell you where we're going. I want to tell you the short and sweet about marketing. It's to alert people to something that they don't know about in order to raise their awareness. It's great for your modality. It's not great for your practice. It's not about getting clients. Client attraction is about bringing a smaller group of people who are most likely going to be a good fit with you, close enough in your orbit to make them want to have a conversation with you so that you can start to see how they could fit into your practice or not. It's a way of sorting people before they call you and while you're talking to them. And you know what? It's still not about getting a client. It's more efficient and it's better than marketing, and it actually costs less than marketing in the way that we usually think about it, but it's still not about getting client, because getting a client needs enrollment skills, and that's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. I'm going to show you a quick way to figure out whether your practice is at the point whether you need enrollment skills or whether you need attraction skills, because some people actually do need attraction skills at this point. So tomorrow, and for the next call, bring pencil and paper and your appointment calendar. because there's going to be time on the call to actually figure out who you are in terms of the need that you have. And see, this is polarizing too. It's like, are you in this category or that category? It's really helpful to know where you stand. So on the call tomorrow, we're also going to look at marketing and attraction again and see what they have in common with each other. And we're going to see that enrollment is an entirely different ball of wax for a very interesting mathematical reason. That call is going to be at 10 o'clock on the same link. So go ahead and put it on your calendar. And oh, we don't need to do that because this is a recording of the re-recording. So we'll skip that part. But I do want to tell you that if your main desire is to help people in your practice transform, you might very well be interested in our Facebook group that's called Hands-On Transformation. And that is available on Facebook if you type Hands-On Transformation into the search bar. And finally, I want to tell you that I know that it could be the case that just hearing this is enough to push you in a different direction and get you thinking about this in a way that you know exactly what to do in your practice to make the changes that are important to start attracting people to you who are the right ones for your practice rather than marketing to the whole universe. And I also know that it could very likely be the case that you need help implementing those kinds of ideas. So if you think that's you, I would love it if you would have a look at the Heart to Heart program. It's designed specifically to help practitioners who have a local practice, not something on the internet, but a local practice, deal with the kinds of problems that we're talking about in these calls. And you can see that at AllisonRapp.com/H2H, heart to heart, H, the number 2, and another H. So that's it for today, and I hope that we'll see you in the next video. And until then, bye-bye.